stuff. You get to that decision point, you should I, shouldn't. So this time, one thing you can do, and sounds very simplistic, you just walk in. Just walk into it. I'm doing more. I'm studying. I'm just walking. I have to notice that my breathing changes. There's a line when my breathing changes, when my body changes, right? This is personal space. This looks stupid, but then to make it, then you get to that line, and then. Does that make sense? Yeah. So try it. And this is not, we all have this. You do this by yourselves, or get a friend and just stand there. Doesn't have to be a martial art, but you get to a point where there's a decision made about your relationship. We need to make a decision. Are we in a relationship, and what kind? Yes, we are. I'm going to hit you. Okay. Which can be trailer park ugly, or see, why did you stop? Don't stop. Walk back. Notice the change. Don't freeze. When the change happens, freezing is not a good thing. When you have that stress, don't learn. Otherwise, when I cross that line with you and I walk towards you, at that point you'll tend to freeze too. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then you'll hesitate to move. You feel that feeling. That's like holding the breath. You feel that feeling of something's wrong. Move. Something's wrong. Move. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you can develop that in both ways. So you walk in comfortably, get used to. See, now you're speeding up and you're going to ram me because you do that. I didn't tell you to knock me out of place. I just said walk up and let's rub chests. Yeah, so we're guys. But that's okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. But I'll do this. Then we don't have to worry. But no, you walk in and. But did you notice all the different ways you're trying to deal with this? Like right here, when you get that close, just stop. Don't lean in. But you see, you've already tried 3 or 4 different strategies to figure this out. None of those strategies are right over there. See, I taught you, you stop. Keep going. You don't have to hit. So when you hit me, that means you're trying to take that extra little step. A little bit of a good. And walk out. Right. And I walk in. And then you start playing with people. You smile and you frown and they go all this. They get all weird. Did you? First, when somebody did it to me, walked up like this, he walked up, and he's walking just still. He's walking up, he smiles, frowns. Because he's indecisive. I smile, I frown. Why do you? And then did an indecision. Said I hit you. He did it on purpose. Hey, how you doing? Whole body. But see, you didn't move. You just tried to evaluate the change. At that point, your hand came up, but the body moved over the vision. But the hand said, the body needs assistance. Does that make sense? This is dumb. This is not dumb. These are interesting things to do. And then you go back and study it a little bit. If it's interesting, break out the books about minds and perception. Everybody's like this. Some of this is cultural because some people let you get closer to them. Part of it's cultural, part of it's personal. Mostly cultural. Japanese are further Mediterranean. The guys who kiss each other all the time. Their personal space is going to be much closer. Japanese are further away because they've got this kind of distance, and then Americans are in between. Let's see that flicking of the hand. You see that. If you bring your hand up, you should use it. If you're not going to use it, don't pick it up. I don't do it either, but it's a weapon. Don't draw the sword unless you're going to draw it. That makes it sound more profound than don't draw the pistol unless you're going to shoot. And once you draw it, don't hesitate. You already decided that you're going to do it. Do it. When you pick the weapon, when you raise the weapon, you had already decided to use it. If you hesitate, you will lose. So don't draw the weapon. Because there's no escape with it.
Yeah.
Don't assume a defensive posture unless you're going to attack. Because you don't go through life like that. You don't walk through the airport like that. Every time somebody, he does. Some people. How's it working for you?
Surviving so far. Spends a lot of time with TSA.
See that twitching? So you think about, that's why they grab you or they touch you and you notice the reaction, right? Then you can start to notice that movement. That makes sense? Yeah. Then when you move technically, you're going to move a little more smoothly and with a little more understanding of what, not just, I got to get to point B. How did I get there? Kind of idea. Because you train for a long time and you don't do that, I don't know. Eventually, you're just amassing technique. And inside the archer. And you can get very fast. And then one day you'll hurt yourself, or you'll get old, or somebody will hurt you. Right? Life will hurt you, and you won't be able to do it. And then what will you have? Helps when the sensei's your body shot, 75 years, you can still do it. You're not going to be out there for an hour sparring, but he's asked to show it, he doesn't. It's really attachment to those. This we did at first, right? This is kind of simple. You walk and you have to be able to comfortably move out of the way. And then you hit the wrist. The only reason you wouldn't move out of the way is if there's something behind you that's more valuable than you are. Which can happen. But in this case, there's nothing there to do with it. If there is, then you have to move internally. Because you can't leave the position. That's when you really need to be relaxed, because you probably will get hit. Have to hit harder, more effectively. Does that make sense? There are times you have to defend something that can't be. If it's just you, why is this piece of dirt in the way? This section of mat feels just the same as it. So be willing to step there. And then you allow me, even if I start to attack, allow me and then respond comfortably. If you hit me well, I'm not going to hit you. And then you're going to hit me again. But the first one has to be good enough to take it away. You want it, the way I was explaining to me, I think it was self-conscious. It's over at the moment of attack. It's over. But you allow a movement, and then you never allow the second. The second movement shouldn't happen. Anything after that should be a reaction to yours. So, see now, another explanation. You're moving to a nice superior position. I'm the one who needs to react. I can react one of three ways. I can run. Because it didn't work. I can fight, or I can catch. I can freeze. If I freeze, you need to stimulate movement. Take your fist and you put it on a person, and you push them until they want to move. If they continue, this is about taking it around, right? If I continue to be aggressive, you move around. If I try to escape, you become like kind of a bote kind of, and you pursue. But that's my choice. The way I look at it. Once you've moved to a position of security, don't be insecure if you're not. Don't waste that hand. So that's like 3 weapons that went offline. Your fist, your elbow, and your shoulder all came offline because you made a defensive. It's a Aikido, I think, is an aggressive martial art. It's not defensive. So don't self-defense is a cool. This is a cute one. He told me like Japanese did not develop the shield. And here's Kevin. I'm not picking. We all have this stuff. Everybody's got stuff. And like you could bring up. You could do this to me. I could do it to anybody in the room. But you're a good sport. Good example. So then when you step, then I decide to continue to do what my decision. I decide to run. You need to be ready to pursue. I decide to freeze. You need to be comfortable striking. And then the technique starts. And then you do the technique I choose. And then later in free movement, the person will start changing their mind. They'll go from aggressive to moving away, moving in. The basic technique is programmed. They stay in that mode of response. I wasted a lot of time because I would tend to go in and go static. And then I'd get aggressive because I thought I had to hit him, and then he'd respond, and I'd think, well, I better pull out, he's responding. And then it's hard to learn a basic technique. And that's where you get that hesitancy. What's he going to do? Then later you develop a feel. That's where you do the static practice where you can feel what is he going to do. What does he think he's doing, and what is he really doing? Does that make sense? So now as you're moving, you can structure the whole movement. Like the situation. And if you freeze, I just walk to a nice position, and I touch you, I get to this little tiny. I don't have to hit you, but I touch you. I show you the vulnerabilities of your position. Then you move in. Toward me, I step to a comfortable position for me. I feel better about myself than you do about yourself. So now you try to move toward me. You need to become aggressive. All right, like that. Notice it took 2 steps. Between the first and the second step, I move forward. Wait till the second step to hit you. Stop the first step, they'll change their mind between those 2 steps. It may be at a 7.5, I'd say. That's the point. When you make that point, that's when I do it. I think. I just made that up. So he's nodding, so I'm getting some, but let's go make it up on the fly. That's why I have to think about this. I hadn't thought about that, but if you're doing this stuff where you have to be a tiny person, but you might be able to have something. Making sense to anybody besides me? Okay, good. See the idea? Then you have choices. And then we pattern those choices to make those responses. And then we have to develop a free practice or a free Aikido movement that allows for variation without a feeling of loss. We didn't get the flow.